Welcome to opening week presented by MasterCard. We are celebrating Summer Bash here at the LCS studio.
Hell yeah, brother.
And one of us did not get the memo.
I was told to dress up.
Yeah, dress. We're doing Summer Bash,
Dress
so
up
look
in
your
a
best.
way.
I'm looking good.
You do look the best out of any of us. I'll give you that, sir.
True.
Sir, you do look the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we gotta get in.
Yep.
Okay.
This is the hot tub that we ordered, filled with Orbeez or something.
Yeah.
Water, what are you talking about? Oh,
How's your back?
oh
Raz,
dear.
I love that you just committed to that.
He's in.
Oh,
All
my
right.
God.
It's like, if people don't know, this is actually like
sludge. Yeah,
quicksand.
I
Like
feel
it's
It's warm.
sludge.
It's
We
nice.
need to-
Don't worry about
is
it.
freezing.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh, here's
All
the
right.
thermometer you were looking for.
Oh, what's the temperature?
What is the temperature?
There we go.
70 Fahrenheit.
That feels right. This is slightly
Room
cooler than
temperature water.
Yeah, it's like not uncomfortably cold, but
It's
wishing
like
it was
going-
warmer.
It's like going to the beach. Like, honestly, you go into the water to cool yourself, and that's what we're doing. Because the first 2 days have been so hot.
So hot.
Been hot.
You have to cool off.
All right. So speaking of that, we did ask what people's favorite moment of the LCS has been thus far. So someone said a gin wick.
Gin's
Actually
wick the
pretty good.
Oh, wait, that's so clever.
My favorite moment was being there and just a few feet away from Bjergsen when he came out to support 100 Thieves in the crowd. Actually, yeah, after they won, he was
Yeah.
up there clapping right in front of the stage.
Oh, there he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, he was right next to a hard random, but overall, that was great to see Bjergsen.
Yeah, he actually looks so happy. I know this is obviously just like a quick snippet, but that's happier than I have seen him in years.
Are you saying that everyone, as soon as they stop
I don't
playing,
know. Like, I think, honestly, he picked a good time to step away because I think the grind of 10 years, as he mentioned in his video, is just like, it's just really good to see him happy.
yeah,
The difficult step for a lot of players, of course, is that next chapter.
Yeah.
But I feel like right when you're done with the grind of daily scrims, constantly worrying about the matches, the losses of the matches, which was happening for 100 Thieves at the very beginning. So there's a lot of stress, and immediately taking a step back from that is amazing. Like, I would assume that's great for him. So I'm excited for him. I think everybody in the community sent that excitement over to him. So great to see him just actually vibing from a fan's perspective.
I wish he was still playing. I'll say it. I miss him.
100% I do. I also can't believe Raz jumped in.
yeah.
Like,
I was going to flip, by the way.
So that
If
was
you could
so-
actually get the height to do a flip, I would be so impressed.
so-
You want me to?
I don't think there's any padding
no.
under here. Is
That
what
was
we're
so
saying.
Yeah, no, you will
unbelievably
hurt
dangerous.
yourself.
Like,
Raz, no.
We did the test. You weren't part of the test.
I wasn't.
You
Yeah,
have no
don't.
idea how loose any of this is. We're like a foot from the ground.
True.
There's beads all over that you're going to clean up.
I didn't sign any waivers either.
You're cleaning those up. I just,
oh
that
my
was
gosh.
2 days in a row you have the moment.
Oh
so
my
far.
God, you're right there everywhere.
Don't say. I think you broke
We need
a
to
bunch of the
do
beads
a
as you
zoom out
jumped
shot
in.
of all. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, that's all, Raz.
I will bring out a broom after this.
All right, moving on. The next one we have is from Drew UI, and it is the Immortals comeback from yesterday. A tie between the crazy IMT comeback and the Solo is 30 joke. Both were awesome. It was actually awesome talking to Solo afterwards because the only reason he knew that he was the first 30-year-old to play in the
Yeah.
LCS is because, Jat, you DM'd him.
I remember that I
Spoiled
did.
the joke.
Well, I
you both
needed to
invented the joke and spoiled it
I
a little
needed
bit.
to make sure he was 30 because if we ran 25 graphics and we do a post game, it's like, actually, I'm like 26. And like the Leaguepedia was just wrong, which is where I got the information in the first place. It would have been a disaster.
I do got to give a head tap to the Immortals plays, though. Tactical coming up big despite being so
Yeah.
far behind. We did a little research, Jat. You had another interesting stat from this game.
Yes, so 15 kills is what FBI had on Zeri. That is the most kills anyone from any region we could pull from, not including the LPL, has ever had on Zeri in a loss.
15 in
15 kills.
Yeah.
The other record
That's
was
bonkers.
13 from Neon in the LEC.
Yeah, so
record breaking. Also, fun fact, he now leads the LCS in kills.
FBI.
Oh, that's depressing.
But that's
Oh,
also after
no.
having 0 kills in his first game.
That's depressing.
And they're
Wow.
0-2.
Yeah. That's like, no one has ever done that.
Yeah, I mean the players for sure from that side are not happy, and they're putting a lot of onus on them, which is it's good to see that publicly, and I'm sure within the team, the accountability is there. But damn, like seeing the players on IMT side, their excitement after that game, it's crazy. And I'm camping out the IMT social, I'm like their social media just to see when the comms come out. Because I want to hear that. It's so fun to be able to see that happen, especially with the storyline with like, with how Tactical has like for the past couple months or splits, you know, a little bit of struggle on teams that haven't been performing, and that one was a big moment, I'm sure, for him.
Yeah.
Leads the league in DPM.
There it is.
I pulled the Jazz stats for later, so I've been looking at a lot of stats. That's why
Are you
it's in my
spoiling
head.
Jazz stats for us?
No, these are not things that I picked, but he's like over 1,000 DPM. I'd love to check what it actually was from that last game. So,
Wow.
Immortals, a pleasant surprise
Yes.
so far. And
All
it's
right.
still going to take me a bit to remember that Revenge is not on that team.
True.
Because
You messed it up quite a
Johnny
few.
G.
You keep saying that Revenge is on the
he was
team.
on Immortals for so long. They made him the franchise player. He's moved on now to another team.
He has.
And both of them are succeeding. So
Let's pull up the standings because apparently we have a related question from Jat in the story meeting
have this
this
question.
morning. You obviously Cloud9, EG, Immortals Progressive, and Team Liquid Honda all tied at 2-0, up at the top of the standings, tied for first. The question from Jat was, who is the imposter among us?
yeah, which one of these is the most fake? Like who has the,
And not
the
just good,
fakest
bad,
2-0
like-
or the fakest 0-2,
Right.
the fakest 1-1? What's the most wrong?
Oh boy.
I would say, I mean, just to start, the obvious one is Golden Guardians. We expect them to be a top 2, top 3 team. So the fact that they're 0-2 to start reminds us. Actually, Anero made the tweet. It's like it reminds them of spring.
So-
beginning of the split.
Okay, Raz.
Yeah.
I thought you had to pick a team that was doing good.
Well,
No,
no,
you
No,
didn't.
it was
No, no.
anything that's
okay.
They
wrong.
be doing
All
bad
right.
too.
So you're saying it's like crazy that Golden Guardians have started 0-2.
Yes.
They have started
Oh.
0-2 in half of their splits ever. 6 of 12.
It's actually the
0-2.
most common start.
I hate
for
context
them.
too.
That is the most common opener
Yeah.
for Golden Guardians.
Fair.
I'll be the next. I'll play my character correctly and say like I'm salty and I'm jealous. So I'm going to say
Okay.
Immortals 2-0. I don't believe it's going to stay that good.
Okay, why not?
I don't believe in it.
What have they done that makes you not believe in it?
The whole history of that
What's
of that
the history?
organization.
Oh my gosh.
I'm role playing the
So-
jerk on the beach.
All right, so they had the comeback yesterday against Energy, and who did they beat on day one? Was it Dignitas?
I think it was Dig,
Yeah, I
right?
think it was Dig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've had an easy schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Like, it depends how good Energy is supposed to be. Because Energy was winning that game quite a bit. And
They're
then
supposed to be good. That's one where I will say that's also pretty fake to see them 0-2
Mm.
because yes, that was a wild comeback, but that was NRG playing really well for the first part of that game. And people will easily forget that. So I hope they build on that. I hope they don't tilt off that. And I hope we see better from their solo lanes that we expect a consistency out of them, specifically Palafox. And I think they will. So I don't think they'll remain at the bottom, but I've been wrong before.
I'm most shocked by FlyQuest,
yeah.
I think, because
Mhm.
it's not just that they're 0-2, it's kind of how lackluster they've looked compared to what we expected out of this team, right? Like day one, before any game started, we were like, maybe this team in power rankings with the Vulcan edition could have the potential to eclipse C9 in some people's estimation of like just preseason power rankings.
Yeah.
And they've looked kind of rough.
I agree. I also realize this ball is like a sponsored ball.
What?
It says opening day presented by Master. Yeah, opening day presented by MasterCard.
Damn, dude,
LCS
that's so
2020.
sick.
Wow.
Thanks for stopping the show to let us
Yeah.
know, man.
I'm
that
not
was
stopping
All
the
right,
show.
this was your question, Jet.
My
You
answer-
asked
You
the
wanted
question.
to know our answer.
Now
answer
you're
was-
distracted.
My answer was FlyQuest, but I'm going to change it now because FlyQuest is taken.
Yeah.
So that we need to pull up the standings. It's hard for me to turn around.
Got
So
Dig
I think
O2,
EG
Pull it with this. You can
O2.
point
I think
with
EG
this.
is not as bad as people thought they were going to be. The most fraudulent is.
Is it TL? Are you anti-TL?
Are you turning
I'm
on
not,
TL?
I'm not anti-TL.
I know you're gonna turn
already
on them.
said Immortals.
You're gonna turn on them.
I think
I feel like you can double up.
You can double
I
up.
know.
You can,
I really need to because everything else is unfair. Like if I say
Like-
TSM is fraudulent, it's like 1-1. You can't like you're not fake for being 1-1.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
just pick one already, bro.
It's
Bruh.
it's FlyQuest. I'm just doubling down. I'm sorry.
Okay, there it is.
FlyQuest.
Well,
Vulcan.
All right.
Vulcan is not that bad.
there it is.
Not as bad as Ayla would have you believe.
I am looking forward to the first time they play and the continued trash talk between those
Yeah,
two.
it's
Yeah,
soon.
same.
It's Thursday
I love
next
that.
week.
I love that they're both going to lean into it.
Yeah.
So as for more favorite moments, I know I tried to game the system along with Flowers, and we chose Raz's hype video to try to get people to vote for Raz's hype video. And yeah,
Are we gonna show it
apparently
again?
people ended up, oh, there's just me. So it's just
Yeah.
us that we're
Wait,
trying
all
to game
these
the
people
system.
work for the LCS.
All
Yeah.
3 of these people are employed.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys.
I gotta say-
I feel like our gaming of the system was not successful.
There was someone
It was
else,
very
so that was it.
successful.
I was
Yeah,
there
here it
was.
is.
Oh, here we go.
Do we need to stop talking? We don't have no. We don't know what we sound like.
This is it.
I will stop talking now.
There's audio in the video.
Remind you that we're 3 weeks away from our July 4th bash. So get on ready for some damn good deals and walk out over to the LCS here as we have some exciting news for you now. Cast away your aspersions and your memories of them days in London. Now, nothing good ever happens in London. Nothing.
That's what I
All
said.
right, we fought a good war to get away from London, and now we're back here in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah,
Here to
that's
take
right,
some
right
wins
there.
and kick some ass here in the LCS, and we'll be ready to go over to Korea and take some ass over there world.
Get them
But
dogs.
until then, we're gonna be beating each other up here in Hootenanny, double
Hootenanny.
kills, triple kills, quadra kills, and a good old mouth-fight ulti just to tip us off. All right, get on over here, and then one last reminder, y'all. If you missed it last time, here's a message for you.
The only kids here is the barbecue dinner I'm having tonight. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to the casters. Azael and Flowers.
What are you?
What are you talking about?
You guys underestimated my ability to make dumb videos.
All right, I will accept the fact that Raz won that competition, but I watched that segment back because I was doing something else, and you guys were like, "No one liked your video, Mark." I rewatched Twitch chat; they were vibing with it. I would have got second place. Raz for sure wins, but I was last, and people were spamming Mark Z, but it only counted Mark.
Yeah, I knew your
I
tactic.
feel like it would have counted Mark.
Dude,
yeah, I feel
rewatch-
like it should have counted Mark Z too.
It didn't. It wasn't counting Mark Z.
It
I'm
was
pretty
it was
sure.
live updating. So
How can you
while I agree,
I was watching when you guys were like, "Vote for your
Then
favorite." It was
if you
all
were
Raz
watching,
and
why
me.
weren't you on the segment?
Yeah.
There's this thing
Where
called
were you?
Jat's such a boomer. He doesn't know that Twitch chat shows and VODs.
look, you tried to game the system by showing pets, and we decided to stymie it.
Yeah.
I think
put
it was
zero effort.
it was a deserved win by Raz.
Yeah, Raz,
I
I never-
started crying from laughing.
If you're
when I
not
watched it
first,
the
you're
first
last.
time.
So
Ricky
it
Bobby.
doesn't matter.
We all suck compared to
It
Raz.
doesn't
Fair
matter.
enough.
Raz is
Hell
first.
yeah,
There we go.
brother.
I was
Hell
second,
yeah.
but I don't think it matters.
Get going, brother.
Jet, your presentation ungamed. So this is not me and Flowers trying to game the system. Someone actually did say the EG not as bad as you think.
Yeah. Shout out
PowerPoint.
to producer Big G for putting this together.
Big
But
G?
yeah, I gave the bullet points and did the presentation, but without the hard work of Big G, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, the hype videos were so funny. Also really loved Jat's EG presentation from Ahubun on Twitter. So congratulations, you won that. I think my favorite part is
Here it is.
the revenge hulking out at the end.
Well, I was surprised that you had a clicker in your hand and were actually moving
Yes.
at that pace because it was so unnatural and bad that I had to think that you were like following along with producers who were just flying it a little too slow. But you were like not as bad as you, but you had a clicker. You could have
Yeah.
gone faster.
I could have.
I figured it out when I was like, "What's the takeaway?" And you started going back.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, that's what I was like. He actually has a clicker himself. He's not following along. Why is it so slow?
The technology was immaculate. That clicker works from 65 meters away.
Oh,
Wait, so
I
you
could have been
in
like
the other, like
I could have
outside
been
of.
so far away.
Will it go through walls?
I don't know. We should try it one of these days.
Coming up
Yeah,
next
just
segment.
have
Super
someone
responsive.
else just try to troll someone's
Yeah.
presentation.
I love it.
that's revolutionary to the PowerPoint
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Gosh. All right, moving forward, let's take a look at today's schedule. We have Immortals Progressive taking on Team Liquid Honda to start off the day. FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians. Evil Geniuses taking on Dignitas. NRG taking on 100 Thieves. And C9 taking on TSM. What are you guys looking out for? There's one big one in my mind, but
Yeah.
What
I mean,
what is it?
FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians.
Battle
With
last.
two teams that we kind
Humble
of
at the bottom.
every single person going into this split put somewhere between like 2 and 4.
2 and 3 was I think the like general consensus. Only a
yeah.
few people had Golden Guardians down below 3.
So that's the big one to me. Both of these teams are starting 0-2. Someone has to win.
Yeah.
For me, it would be EG versus Dignitas for a separate reason, mostly focused on EG. A team that is actually coming out of week 1, 3-0. After all the negativity, a lot of the, Jad was right. They're not as bad as you think.
They are not.
There it is. The fact that they're coming out 3-0 off of actual impressive wins says a lot to a lot of the players. Unforgiven, we haven't seen him in a little bit. And he looks incredible alongside Ayla alongside their jungler, Armeo. There's so much to talk about. And even Revenge, actually. Revenge came out with a post in social media just last night about some of his personal struggles.
Oh, he said, please watch.
Yes,
And it was
so
video.
it was his personal struggles that he's been going through. So he's been powering through quite a bit. And, of course, finding success, but still kind of talks to a lot of the stories that, and trials and tribulations the players themselves have gone through. And they've been doing really well, so they deserve a lot of the fans' applauds and positivity.
I was actually going to say game 1 was one I'm most interested in. Team Liquid and IMT.
Battle for first.
Battle for first. I think
Titans face off.
either one of you say it sarcastically, but like either one of these teams ending week 1 3-0, I think is surprising given where we expected, where they were 8th and 9th at the end of last split, if I'm not mistaken. And TL didn't make any roster changes. They just changed coach out. Immortals, I think people were like, I don't know if this is going to be better or not. So the fact that both of them are 2-0 with a chance to go undefeated in a compressed schedule, get a lot of momentum, I think is pretty impressive. I've been really excited to see Tactical and Treatz back, as much as I was just flaming Immortals jokingly at the start. Like, I actually do like a lot of the, I love Bolulu. He's super cool. I'm glad to see that he was performing on things that weren't just his like cheesy picks of Vel'Koz and stuff. So I'm excited for them.
You just suddenly think they're frauds though, huh?
No, he said he's excited. They could go 3-0.
Okay.
He's excited for them to prove him wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think they're frauds, but they're going to, hopefully they can keep winning.
I think there's also an angle in that Team Liquid Immortals game with, it's a little dated, but like the tactical CoreJJ battle. When Tactical was on Team Liquid, he ended up being on that team for 3.5 splits basically with CoreJJ, which if you math it out is like one of the 80 carries that CoreJJ has played the most with in his career, right? Because he only played 2 splits with Doublelift, right? He played 2 splits with Hansama. He's on his 2nd split with Yeon, but he played 3.5 splits with Tactical. So like their familiarity is actually way higher than people can remember.
You're forgetting one other big boy, Ruler,
which was 2 years, right? So he's pretty much spent, and I don't even know if it was a full 2 years because CoreJJ subbed in towards the end of 2016. Anyway,
yeah.
And I think Gen G Ruler was 2018 as well when they switched from Samsung. But either way, it's, I think, 2nd most played with 80 carry in CoreJJ's career. And I actually do think there's still a relationship there, and it's fun every time.
Is he going to keep that on his head as he tries to put on the headset?
I think he might try.
Oh my gosh.
I hope so.
Jan, you are a master.
Wait,
Yeah, you know what I
Haeri
also
has a
love?
lifeboat thing on.
Haeri has the life ring on. But you know what I love is Yeon has
stay
the
in
duck
character.
butt hair from the 369 always has this too, from the headset. You know how if you have like, if you have certain cowlicks in the back of your head, like it actually is how your hair moves. You end up getting it, stuck in the back. I love the combo of that with the
Emily, do you remember? I forget the name of the mid laner, but he was a snake mid laner for a little bit that just always had the most horrendous. He like woke up with bedhead.
Was
and
it
then,
Baka?
No, it was not. He was there for only a little bit, but it was similar. It's similar.
I feel like Baka is always the answer when everyone's like, "Do you remember that snake mid laner?"
Yes. So
Anyway,
I appreciate it. I appreciate the dedication to not fixing your hair, but also this.
I appreciate their dedication to doing this at all.
I agree.
Like
They've been really
TL's been
committing
delivering
to
on
the
content.
bit.
They've been showing up. They tore the duck yesterday before they beat Nuke Duck. TL's been showing up.
True. Speaking of Team Liquid content, we are almost ready for that first match of the day between TL and IMT. So we're going to take a look at some of TL's preparation for the summer split in their squad video.
스프링 시즌이랑 비교해서 저희가 8등을 했는데 아무리 봐도 아무리 다시 생각해도 그 등수는 그 등수 근처에도 안 갈 것 같고.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to showing our real strength.
Coming in as a rookie in the LCS wasn't easy for me, but I feel like I'm super ready now.
I'm looking for some dominance in Summer Split. I think it's time for me to prove. I want to prove myself.
I'm just glad that we all stay together, and I feel like we're coming in for our revenge.
And it was cool hearing from them, especially Haeri, in terms of like what he thought that they improved on. I actually have a telestrator from yesterday.
All right, what do you got?
There you go. Good luck getting out of quicksand.
Going to be so
This is fine.
You got it.
I
It's
feel
just
like
water.
I just had to use so many core muscles to get out of there.
Raz is just an agent of chaos.
It has like a sound. I don't know if can chat hear
Yeah,
that. It's
can
like
they hear it? Because it's like, all right.
there's like a little bit of slosh
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like it.
to the
I'm
Orbeez.
comfy.
Okay.
All right, what do you got for us,
I
Emily?
like stashed my notebook over here. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna hold it, so hopefully I can remember my timing. But here I have TL's Baron setup from yesterday. And one of the things we talked about with this TL team, even in their day one game against TSM, was how we weren't necessarily convinced through their objective setups that they'd improved on the stuff that they really needed to in terms of team fighting coordination around objective setups, stuff like that. So here we actually have right before they're going to turn for Baron. There we go. A little bit prior to this, basically 100 Thieves were trying to push up mid-wave here. And TL essentially see an opportunity to go in on them. Haeri and Summit here are going to jump right on to Closer and eliminate him. And this pick allows for them to go for Baron. And now, if you've watched some prior TL Barons, you're like, oh no.
Trouble time.
This could be a little bit of trouble for
I'm
them.
scared, Emily.
But what I really, really liked about this setup is that they really paid attention to A, they know they're going to have to draw some days TP from bot where he ended up pushing down that turret. But B, they play with Fog really well here. And additionally, coming up, Summit is actually going to do a great job just immediately jumping onto Double Lift here, right? He ends up blowing Double Lift Flash, removing him. So not only have they already removed the jungler, but this is just such a great use of stopwatch and zoning from Summit with the rest of the team. They seem super well coordinated, right? Because like no one here is breaking off pretty much except for Summit until they realize that they can until Haeri realizes that he can come out too and the rest of them can do the Baron. I love this from them. Like, they have not been this coordinated around objectives in a while. And this was honestly amazing to see. I was like, okay, now I really do see the improvement that you guys were talking about in going to, you know, the Netherlands, to boot camp, scrimming MSI teams, all that stuff.
Yeah, they played a couple games against JDG that I know of. They were there for quite a bit. I'm next.
You got this, Jat.
While
You got this.
old man Jat struggles. I will say also head tap to Summit because I thanks for kicking my mic. I knew old man Jat.
Did I kick you?
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have had your mic so close to my feet.
I got my back to my mouth.
Okay, finish your point, and then
I was just gonna say
mine.
Summit's been playing very well recently. I appreciate it, given that he was someone who people were criticizing a lot for being pretty inty in spring. So, anyways, go ahead.
Okay.
What is this?
Yeah,
For those of you who don't know, don't throw that, Russ. For those of you who don't know, the U.S. Open of Golf is happening about 3 miles away from the studio. So even though I know there's not that many League golf crossovers, there are a few, and I want to introduce people to the similarities between League and golf.
Enlighten us.
I know nothing about golf, so let's go.
I've broken it down into 3 different sections of League. I'm going to cover up this for now. So League is about laning, mid-game, and late game. And they all have things that contribute to those parts of the game. Laning's about mechanics, mid-game a lot of brain, and late game is a little bit of mental mechanics. Golf, laning would be driving the golf ball. And the best golfers drive the ball well because of great ball striking. You have to be able to strike the ball in the center of the club face. If you strike the ball towards the heel, it's going to slice. Towards the toe, it's going to hook. It's this thing called gear effect. But really, it's about ball striking. To get good ball striking as well, a lot of the top golfers have very stiff shafts for consistency. some of the older golfers like Ian Poulter have looser shafts, but they're very used to it. So he's able to get the correct whip and be a very good ball striker. So in League, mid-game is about the brain. The mid-game of golf is probably approach shots. But interestingly enough, approach play is also about ball striking. So you use a shorter club, still very stiff shaft, and you have to strike the ball in exactly the right point. And it's less about speed, but very important to have good ball striking. Late game, mental mechanics. Short game, also mental mechanics. In golf, if you get to this point, but your ball striking isn't good, it doesn't matter how well you putt because it took you too many shots to get to the green. In League of Legends, it doesn't matter how good your late game can be if your laning and mid game wasn't there because you're just not going to have the gold. So just to reiterate, golf, so much about ball striking. You need to have the correct shaft on your club. And you also need to have, for those of you who want to pick up golf, make sure you're not narrow in your backswing. You need a lot of width. That allows you to have the right timing to strike the ball exactly how you need to. So I just wanted to let people know that because the US Open is happening right now, 3 miles away, and we're playing League today. So they can coexist. What's up, Raz?
Question. I find, at least I'm a newbie.
Okay.
I played once.
Okay.
And I tend to, or at least the club that I use tends to lean a little bit more to the left.
Okay.
So how do I solve that?
So if you're hitting the ball left, that's club face control. You also want to make sure that your ball striking is correct. So if you strike the ball too far towards the toe, it's going to go a little bit left. Different players have different strengths and weaknesses. So I'd say like Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau have great ball striking. I'd say Dustin Spieth doesn't have the greatest ball striking.
Yeah.
But I also made that name up and you couldn't tell, so it doesn't matter.
Who has the best ball striking in the LCS, would you guess then? Best mechanics?
So right now, actually, Team Liquid's ball striking is incredible, but I'd say their putting was really off last split. So they've worked a lot on their short game during their boot camp to try and make it better.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Chet.
I guess. Fair enough.
We are going to go to predictions, but before we do, there is actually one LCS fan in our Discord, and they are 0-10 on
The
predictions.
GOAT, 0-10.
Yeah.
That's
Taco,
incredible.
They also always predict Dignitas because in spring, when they were on a major loss streak, a friend told them to predict Dig over EG, and that was the game that actually EG lost to Dig. So since then, they have picked Dig every single time.
He's an expert inter.
I can't. So for context, no one was 10-0.
Yeah,
Like
this is
anyone in the Discord
only
who did predictions,
person
no one
that
had a
was
0 and a 10 in
Yeah,
their record.
this is the only person that was 0-10. And then we
there's-
had no 10-0s.
There's been a lot of upsets. So even if you're trying to int and do poorly, it's actually very hard to have gotten everything wrong.
If he keeps this streak up, I'm going to be amazed.
So if you're a betting person, I guess you just go against whatever Taco predicts.
NRG. TSM's going to win?
TL, GG, EG.
Yeah, let's see.
Here's what I think.
Oh, wow.
We're split on Golden Guardians and FlyQuest.
Fans are very confident about some of these, more than they should be, I think.
EG Dig 95. More so than C9 TSM. That's the most shocking one to me.
Is it that they're not as confident in C9 and they think EG is better, or is Dig worse than TSM?
I think they think Dig is that bad. Dig is not that bad. If they play 20 times, they're going to win more than once.
Problem is they're only playing one time.
That's not true, Raz. They're playing each other twice.
Oh,
because
God.
it's a double round robin.
I'm surprised 2-0 IMT's not getting more loving.
I am also surprised to see Jat pick NRG over.
Yeah, so again, I'm just trying not to overreact. And I'm thinking before the season, NRG should have been like a 5th place team. They're going to be really motivated after 2 really bad performances. They played a lot better in game 2 than in game 1. So I hope they can keep up that trajectory.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us in the lounge hot tub /
It's the pool area.
cold tub
It's the pool.
And now we will take it away with TL versus IMT. Oh, you almost hit it.
True.
That was
Close.
good.
welcome to opening week presented by MasterCard for our Summer Bash. Let's take a look at Immortals and Team Liquid arriving at the arena for our first game of the day. And uh-oh, what do we got here, Azael? Oh, no. Oh!
Are they bullying Tactical?
No! They're bullying Eddie. Come on, man. Oh, that's down.
He was smurfing yesterday. We'll see. We'll see if who's going to be bullying who on the rip. Both these teams actually coming in 2-0. Both of them having a great opening week so far. Tactical in particular, I think, has been kind of smurfing it. So if he can keep it up, we'll have to see what Immortals can get done.
Yeah, the Giga Chad flashing forward, and now he's just laying back, chillaxing at the moment.
Does he have that perfectly balanced on his head, or is that tape? Okay. It has to be tape.
That's incredible.
Or something.
I need one of those ASAP. Hey, Prod, can we get that for us?
Oh, that is incredible, yeah. It was much more impressive when I thought he actually had that balance. I was like, wow. That's some skill right there.
And we got a Moo in the crowd as well. Let's go! Shake that thing. Let's go. Do the dance of the sad mummy. Actually, this is a happy mummy. It's the first time I've seen the Moo happy in quite a while. Even Haeri's got a little bit of the beach festive spirit with the... Wow, I'm blanking on that. Is it the inner tube? Or is that a lifeguard tube?
I'm blanking on it too. A life raft? I don't know. It's not a raft. I don't know what you would call it. I forget. We're both spacing out.
Yeah,
now.
we are spacing out.
Now we just gotta move past it. Just move past it.
Move past it. Moving along.
Both teams 2-0 here in the week so far, and I think pretty unexpected results, especially the way in which they've won some of the games. You know, TL obviously got up huge in their first game, then I think struggled to close it out in the way that they would have been able to want. They really would have wanted to be dominant from there. TL's early game has been incredible. Immortals yesterday was way down in their game against Energy, nearly 10,000. I think it was 9.8K down, plus being down Dragons as well. And were able to actually come back in that one. Their first game was one of the most dominant games I've seen from Immortals in a really long time. So we'll see, what these teams are going to bring out here today. Has been mostly about enchanters in the bot lane, mostly about hyper carries. We still are playing a very bot focused meta, similar to what we've been seeing really for the last 2 years at this point, it feels like. A lot of Lucian coming in, Milio has been really high prio, Lulu, Zeri, Yuumi, all these picks have been really, really popular. And Yuumi already banned out, expecting that Milio, Nico, probably going to join it on that red side.
Yep.
But we have seen some people leave Milio up. Nico is pretty much just a permanent ban, though.
The other thing, too, that I will be looking at is what junglers are going to be prioritized for both Kenvi and Pyosik, because Kindred, as it's already faced the ban table, it's some of our most prominent Kindred players in the league, outside of maybe like Blabber, the other big one for 2.
I mean, Blabber gets to play it. These guys just get it banned against them, right? So it is one of those things where it's like they never get to play it. Pyosik has a skin for it and isn't even going to get to play it. And Sion's going to get banned here against Solo. So Milio left up must mean that they do have some sort of a plan. What do they want to bring out against it? Is it going to be an aggressive look? Is it just going to be like a Lucian Nami or something along those lines? Would be interesting. Annie has been very popular. Ahri has been very popular as well, but that's of course banned out. So Annie would not be a shocker whatsoever. And now I'm just kind of curious, are they going to try to grab Lucian? Because Lucian Milio is really, really strong. You may want to be having that denial pick. There are options, to pair alongside it. Still, Lucian Nami is pretty much the only thing we see besides the Lucian Milio, which is kind of like the new age version of it.
The other big thing for Immortals, too, is even if they don't have access to the Lucian, Tactical has been comfortable running the Aphelios, which they're going to lock in right now. Kenvi returning back to that Sejuani. Had the Kha'Zix game yesterday. Unfortunately, even though they had a nice comeback after that 10K deficit, it's really hard to pilot Kha'Zix into what was triple melee, but the Sejuani being open allows Kenvi to play this game. We know that this is a guy that coming up through the challenger scene, he's known for the carries, but his first game of the split against Vel'Koz, he had so much control of the entire map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was looking really, really good on the Sejuani in that game. Was able to track with Santorin, I believe, really effectively, deny a lot of the ganks that he was looking for, and find a lot of plays himself. So Kenvi, through those first couple games, definitely looking strong. It is the third straight game of Aphelios for Tactical, so not mixing that up at all. Lucian Nami coming through as expected as we're moving on into the second phase of bans here. We do have the ability to just kind of ban out some of the mid laners, some of the solo laners on the Immortals side. it looks like it's just more targeting of Solo thus far, because Bolulu doesn't really feel like a Cassante guy. He has been pretty much exclusively mages, it feels like, since he's come up into the LCS. And Solo, you know, generally always wants to play these tanks these days. He's played Sion, he's played Ornn. The Sion has already been banned out. They're taking away the Cassante. So it'll be interesting to see if TL just keep throwing bans at him and try to use 5th pick here for Summit to really get an explosive matchup where he can try to take advantage of Solo, because Summit's laning has always been a strong point. Even when he's had other issues, he has still been dominant in lane. And through the first couple games, he's been really good in the team fights as well. He has not really been making some of those errors that I think people sometimes criticize him for.
Yeah, that's one of the big improvements we're already seeing within the opening week for Team Liquid. I think in spring, despite Summit having a monstrous laning phase game to game to game, he's always been overextended. He gets caught out by the jungler. And then in team fights, teleports have not been great during that spring split, but yesterday, the Jax game, immaculate team fighting, always where it needs to be, and providing and making space for both Yeon and Haeri to step up. So Team Liquid already showing a fresh new look alongside the kind of new bad boys mood and vibe they're going for. Pretty much dunking and trash talking every single team.
Bad boys, and pans over to him with the Poro on his head.
hey, that Poro head is terrifying, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it is going to be Gwen banned away, you know, by Immortals. So clearly trying to have some sort of a protection ban against Summit. You know, if you are going to play tanks, you do not want to be playing into Gwen, something that can play really well in the side lanes, also join up in those team fights, strong in 5v5. It's looking like it's just going to be Ornn. You know, not a big surprise. We already have seen him play it once, and just going to be moving back towards it again.
The big thing that I'm shocked about, hey, do we see it locked in? This would be a decent matchup in an Annie. You have the range advantage. You can keep them at a distance. Team Liquid, the big thing I wanted to flag is that a lot of the junglers were already taken off the pool, and because Kenvi had already grabbed the Sejuani, Pyosik had to look into the Lee Sin because they want to drive this early game. They want to make sure that the Lucian Nami, much like in spring, gets off the board, and they need to keep that snowball running.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vel'Koz for Bolulu, this is one of the champions that people really know him for. 74% win rate, 27 games played in pro play, so has been so good on it. You know, did bring it out a couple of times, mostly in losses last split when he first subbed up in, but looked really good on it and was really making things happen for the team. So I'm excited to see him back on one of his signature picks here. It is going to be Jax again for Summit. So really, you know, not a dominating matchup in the 1v1 by any means, but if you can get pressure, if you can get ahead, you can draw the Ornn to the side lane, you know, pull him away from the 5v5, which is really where he wants to be playing, and try to create some havoc, you know, through that. But when it comes time to 5v5, it's going to be, I think, a lot more difficult to execute on the 5v5s for TL. They're going to be having to approach from multiple angles. They're going to be having to find those really good engages coming from sides, because if it is a front-to-back team fight, Immortals are just way more equipped for that. You have an Enchanter, you have these two really powerful carries with long range, and you have two beefy tanks with good forms of engage. So, you know, it is going to be up to TL to either dominate the early game and just run over Immortals, or to be more creative in how they're approaching these team fights to really make things work.
Gonna be about the wallet diff for Team Liquid. Gotta hit the ground running in this early game. Otherwise, when you look at that 5v5, you are staring down the barrel of a superior team fighting comp on the side of Immortals. And get ready for, as we hit the rift, another big thing here, Azael. I know it's opening week, but both of these teams are 2-0 in the league right now. I don't know if anyone had that kind of expectation going forward, but one of these teams' win streak is going to be broken while the other continues.
Absolutely. I mean, especially for Immortals, I don't think anyone was expecting them to be looking as good as they have, especially right out the gate. Tactical has really been shining alongside Treatz, and I think it really spells good things for this squad. You know, if their bot lane can continue to play at a really high level, can continue to be that carry threat, all of a sudden, Immortals looked way more solid, right? Because we know what we're going to get from Solo. He is a really strong team fighter. He doesn't usually give up big leads in lane, but Immortals, the criticism that most people had was, who is consistently going to be the guy that gets you over the finish line, right? No one can really point to anyone because Tactical has so many ups and downs. Bolulu hasn't really shown that he could really take over and get you those wins at the LCS level. It's a 5-stack brush. TL's about to get clapped.
TL thought that they brought more members to the party, but Immortals were all in onto the death brush, and that is the result of Haeri's flash getting burned.
Yeah, just going to be able to force out that flash. Thankfully for them, no real hard CC on the Immortals side. Kenvi, I believe, just started W. He didn't want to start Q, so they weren't going to like full commit. They didn't have enough CC to really lock down anyone. But it is the flash being forced. It is a potion down for Haeri right at level 1. So nice job denying that little excursion that TL were going on to try to get some vision.
Yeah, TL dropped the ward on the bottom river bush here. So Kenvi, if he wants to punish Haeri's lack of flash in the first 5 minutes of the game, he's going to path towards the top side of the map, look for the wraparound, and play off of Bolulu CC.
Yep, but they have that warded as well. You can see that Summon probably moved down. It's a blue over by the blue ward. There is another ward from TL, so going to be tracked across the map here. Is going for a bit of an interesting path. So Raptors straight over to blue. So maybe just going to try to 3-camp top like immediately, or perhaps was worried about some sort of an invade because TL was checking on bot side. Maybe he was concerned that Pyosik would be invading and starting up on that top side. So we'll see exactly where Kenvi wants to go from here. But Yeon playing Ignite, kind of pretty expected on that Lucian. You know, we'll be looking to try to get these quick trades against Tactical and Treatz, poke them down, and really create an advantage through that. You know, Lucian Nami in lane is less about the 100-0 all-ins, more about the poking and prodding, utilizing this disdain from the Nami to really try to win out over time. And generally, you know, when you have these Enchanter versus Enchanter matchups, healing Enchanters do usually win out against the shielding Enchanters. You know, you can kind of out-sustain as long as you're just constantly poking and prodding and trading there.
Pyosik gonna look for the Sonic Wave, but Bolulu's way too far in the tower for him to connect. I know that the idea for Pyosik is if he can somehow burn a flash off of Bolulu, then it livens that or relieves the pressure from Haeri in the middle game. But Kenvi is gonna walk on over, and Pyosik going for a sneaky wraparound here.
This is really sneaky, the wraparound coming around here. And they're going to know that he's not on a red buff now, but Haeri has no flash.
Yeah, Kenvi flashing forward. Oh, but the Arctic Assault didn't connect. Yeah, they get the permafrost down. Does he have enough damage? The first strike, it's not enough damage, Amp, to take out Haeri, and Pyosik just might sneak away with this red buff before Kenvi gets back.
Yep, he's going to be able to get it. That sucks for Kenvi, and now Kenvi going to be face checking him here. He has no flash. Pyosik could go for this. CoreJJ is moving, and Kenvi senses something is amiss, but yeah, Kenvi looking for the Q flash there, does not actually connect. Pretty unfortunate for him, as it means that Haeri gets away, he loses his red buff, and he loses the summoner. You know, Bolulu just not quite having enough damage to actually knock down Haeri.
Yeah, so kind of to restate what TL's goals are, you know, Pyosik either needs to allow these lanes to continue flourishing, or he needs to snowball them ahead. Kenvi has to correct these lane states as the bot lane erupts, burns the summoner spell off the tactical, and Summit is able to just leave strike away. No real danger there.
Yep, not too concerned. Just hold on to that ward. Sometimes it's just better to just hold onto your trinket ward when you're playing Jax instead of actually, you know, just using that in the river because you have that leaf strike. Just get away. Pyosik, though, looking for the wraparound. They're going to go for this dive here. They are quite healthy. There are no combat summons besides the flash.
There's no tanky member on the side of Team Liquid, so they have to play this one out beautifully. Core tanks out the last turret shot, and they drop the turret aggro over to Pyosik. Doesn't go down. Bolulu is here for the engage, ghosting over, and picks up the fish for dinner.
Nicely done. Bolulu on the roam, going to be able to get one back. You can see Treatz was trying, it felt like, to flash in between Pyosik and Tactical, trying to absorb that Sonic Wave, trying to block as much damage as he possibly could, make it difficult to even click on him. But the dive here played really well. Pyosik has just been very active. It's that same ward he W's over to that he had actually used earlier to invade on that red buff.
Yeah.
Then he Qs over the wall, so he just goes around all the vision there. His pathing has been really smart. They start off with the heal here. CoreJJ pulling aggro with that W, and he's just sitting on the very edge of that range. Takes a second shot. It was a nice route from Tactical to actually force the flash out there from CoreJJ. But then Bolulu, who had been ghosting down, does flash in, gets a kill back. Still good for TL, though, overall, as it's Yeon who picks up the kill, and Tactical dies, plus is going to miss out on the experience as well as that gold. And Bolulu lost minions on the roam. Yeah. So, you know, there is the cost to that as well. And as a result, you can see TL up that 600 gold.
And Tactical is still down summoner spells. Barry is not coming up for another couple of minutes. So Kenvi is now relegated to babysitting bottom side for the next couple of minutes. And he's spotted. So Yeon and Core can play with absolute safety while Pyosik gets to take his time, level up in experience, continue that snowball for the side of Team Liquid. I mean, Kenvi is forced to do this. He has to make sure that Tactical doesn't fall too far behind, or Pyosik and the rest of Team Liquid are just going to run away with the game.
Yeah, it definitely becomes difficult when you have a losing lane like that. You need, as you're saying, you want to play coverage, but if you spend too much time down there and you end up in a losing 3v3, then that doesn't really do you any good either. So you have to still make sure you're cycling those camps, keeping up an XP, looking for those opportunities. Because it is Pyosik who's definitely gotten a lot more done, it feels like, in these early levels. Kenvi had his one kind of big moment looking towards mid, where they tried to punish that missing flash from Haeri at level 1, wasn't able to capitalize on it. And after that, it's really just been all Pyosik. And as soon as Kenvi spotted down on bot side, Summit obviously can go aggressive on top side. He can look to trade more heavily. And you can see he's up 12 CS already. And the wave is equalized. This is post bounce. So there should be just as many minions for Summit to farm up on that top side as there are for Solo. So he's going to end up a good 2 waves up on Solo just in that 1v1. And again, showcasing why he is so feared in these 1v1s on top side.
Dragon is available for both teams of taking, but Team Liquid just continuing that snowball. There's a timer where Bolulu is looking for the roam, doesn't have summoner spells, but Yeon still has a flash to work with. It would have to be a great tectonic disruption to knock Yeon out of the sky here, but he looks for Core, trying to take advantage of the champion with no flash. Great bubble, interrupts the lifeform disintegration rate. Can he walk out? He's gonna do his best. The nice heal from the surging tides keeps Team Liquid's bottom lane alive.
Damn, that bubble from Core was huge. Pre-queued the bubble, throws that out before Bolulu even lets the ult rip, and now Yeon might actually kill off Tactical. He's getting very low, and Yeon has flash. He's gonna go for it.
Flash forward, baby! Team Liquid are once again running this bot lane.
Oh my god, that is so bad for Immortals. And Solo, he's probably gonna get dope because they showed bot. Here he comes.
Yes, kick. He kicks him before he gets a chance to use Call. The Forge got under the tower. Team Liquid, we knew that this was what they were capable of from Spring Split, and they're carrying it over just as before.
Yeah, their early games have just been incredible, but bot lane is completely over at this point. Tactical 38 CS to 66 with Yeon having that kill as well. That one hurts so bad. Not only are they not able to actually get the kill with Bolulu coming down here, they die in the play in the 3v2, and they're again losing minions mid lane at the same time. Then their top lane gets dope. He's down 30 CS as well.
Yeah.
This game is already out of control, and we're only 8 minutes in.
And I mean, this is the potential risk of picking a team fighting comp to begin with. If you do not protect and have great defense in the early 15 minutes, this is what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bolulu coming in here, great sidestep from Core, and then the bubble, just throwing it out there, sees that the ulti's going to be coming down.
Oh, no.
And it's Kenvi getting caught now. The slows were there on Core. It was the right target, absolutely, because he had no flash. So they're going for the right guy, but they just don't actually have enough CC to lock him down and prevent him from throwing out that bubble. And he doesn't run out of range. He's not just like panicking and trying to run straight away. He just calmly stays there, saves the bubble. As soon as the ulti's popped, drops that raid onto Bolulu, interrupts it. And then in the extended play, they get a kill. Now back to live, they kill Kenvi. They're taking the dragon. This one's looking rough, but we did see Immortals come back from worse yesterday.
I mean, that's true. Immortals would have to pull off the greatest defense possible. I mean, you're pulling. We're talking about
zone.
Yeah,
they're not even down 10K yet. Who cares?
Apparently, they're playing Bloons tower defense every single game beforehand just to get it on deck and ready. But Team Liquid, the biggest criticism that we had in the Spring Split is like, okay, we know the early game is good. How well can you carry this momentum? How well can you close out the game with this kind of lead?
Well, it's really nice to see Pyosik having a great game as big trade from Haeri. Ghost is going to be forced and not going to be looking for a kill. We've seen this so many times now with his first strike Annie. Ulti is ready. You just use it for the trade. You just drop it on your opponent. You're basically farming gold and poking them out of lane at the same time.
Yep.
With that rune, which makes it so valuable to just drop it on cooldown. But Pyosik's having a great early game. Like, his pathing has been so intelligent, playing around vision, circumventing where those wards are going to be. Obviously, that is also a team effort, tracking where the wards are dropped, but it's been exactly what you want to see from him on the Lee Sin, taking away another buff from his opponent, and it looks like they could even go for a redive potentially. We'll see if he's going to get up there in time. No, instead he's just going to take away another Gromp, and someone can move down into the enemy jungle to actually support, so he can be hanging around just in case Sejuani comes up, and now he's just going to proxy the wave and kind of put them in this awkward position because they know they should have a winning 2v2.
And I think Haeri should also be on the roam with them. Call of the Forge God is going to be popped. Can they interrupt it? Nicely done by Pyosik once again. Dragon's Rage interrupts the Call of the Forge God, doesn't allow him to get the recast off. And Kenvi has already exhausted his Glacial Prison. The flash forward, Pyosik is the one taking it. Summit popping off with the double.
Oh my God, TL, they're going crazy on the top side. Perfectly done, interrupting Solo again, as now they're trying to actually threaten just a 2v2 dive.
Wow, bubble and tidal wave lands. It doesn't mean that Tactical and Treatz are going down anytime soon, but man, it is absolute destruction right now.
Trade of also, and they got Tactical's ult there. Now the bubble lands, now it could be a death.
Treatz is forced to use the Breath of Life, gets the healing back. Ignite is taking it down. Yeon clips it, and Haeri's coming in. Drop the nuke, drop the big bear on him. You know you want to do it. Boom! Oh, he doesn't even need timbers. Oh my goodness, I got hyped for nothing. But I mean, Team Liquid are having a beach party, and Immortals are just left out to dry on the sand.
If you're an Immortals fan, it may be time to avert your eyes because this one is going downhill fast. TL are just playing this out so incredibly well. Pyosik W's in, the safeguard into the kick, Sonic Wave coming out and just perfectly layered there onto Solo, interrupting the ulti again. They burst them down, and then they know the passive is faded on Sejuani, so he doesn't have that bonus armor and MR. Pyosik tanks it up. Summit flashes in to get in range to help finish him off, and then an easy walkout. And then this was just really, really nicely done. Trade of ults there. They force out the ult from Tactical. Then as soon as that's done, there's no minions to actually block the culling here. So Yeon just looks for the angle, found the culling to get another kill, back to live. Bolulu has flash. We'll see if he can get out.
Flash away, but the Tibbers just drop for the extra stun. Pyosik with a Sonic Wave, safeguards right back on out, baby. Nothing Immortals can do to stop the train that is Team Liquid.
Yeah, insult to injury. They're going to get the Summoners and the kill as well. It is a trade of flashes at the very least, but Pyosik, this is like the best game I can remember since he's come to NA.
Yeah.
Like, he is just going off. He has been everywhere. He's gotten kills now in 3 lanes. Like, he is having a hell of a game on the Lee Sin.
We call that phenomenon jungle surfing, where you're just going from every single lane, just cruising. Oh, kill here, burn a flash here, get another kill here, take a tower here. Rift Herald crashing into the mid wave after Summit took the turret by himself on the top side of the map. I mean, they could go for the 15-play dream.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. The rough part is it's not just 9-1, but you start to actually look at the CS, right? Like, look at top lane. We're approaching like 60 CS in top lane.
They're almost 10,000 gold ahead at 13 minutes.
It's ridiculous. Almost 1,000 gold a minute is a number you pretty much never will see, especially when you consider minions don't even spawn till 1:30, right? So it's like, it's actually been 11.5 minutes of gameplay here for a nearly 10,000 gold lead. That is absurd. And Tactical, he's in trouble again. It is not a Gale Force on Yeon, though. It is the Kraken, so we can't actually Gale Force in and finish him off. But Tactical is going to get sent back to base. They just can't play their lanes. They're too far behind. You look at the item discrepancies in top and mid and jungle and bot. It's like everything is just completely falling apart for Immortals here.
That's 14 plates, Azael.
I mean, they're going to get it, probably. We'll see.
Get it. Oh, actually 13. There's still one more.
Okay, there's one more mid, so they're not going to get 15 then.
Okay.
But they will get 15 out of 15 plates. It'll do, as they are now. Okay, 6,500 gold on Yeon. It's not even 4K yet for Tactical.
Wow.
And Jungle's even, just about the same, right? It is, again, more than a 2,000 gold lead in Jungle. It's about a 2,000 gold lead in top lane. Like, this is just absurd.
Absolute. It's not just a jungle kingdom or a single.
It's an everything gap.
It's an everything gap. However, Haeri, they're investing a lot of resources into the mid lane. He's still got a flash to work with. He's hugging the wall. He baits them in. The tidal wave is going to interrupt Kenvi, and the bubble keeps him locked down for another kill in the Team Liquid's hands.
Yeah, and Pyosik didn't even stop doing the dragon. They finished the dragon at the same time. They rotate over. They kill him off. They knock down the last outer tower at 14.5 minutes. Oh my God, TL came in today angry.
I feel like every game that we have seen from Team Liquid this week has just been increasing in level and dominance. The first game against TSM, we saw a little bit of that spring split Team Liquid. We're like, oh God, mid-game macros kind of looking a little sus here. Everyone's desynced in team fighting, but then the game against 100 Thieves, pretty convincing. Summit playing the team fights a lot better. And this game, it's an absolute smash.
Yeah, they are just stomping. I mean, the early games have been good in all 3 games. This one has been the best transition and kind of extension of that lead. We'll see if they can keep making it happen. We're going to watch Solo die again. I don't think there's any real way out for him.
Kick into the wall. Solo's not going to even bother popping the Call of the Forge God because he knows that he is gone.
Yeah, he is gone. Nothing for him to get done there. They're taking away the enemy jungle. Jax is splitting bot, and Tactical is down 3 levels in that 1v1. That's dive range, right? He could easily go in for it, but doesn't know exactly where everyone is on that IMT side. So Summit not wanting to risk anything, and it is of course multiple members from Immortals now roaming down, and he will get tipped off as his ward gets turned off by that ping. So he will know that people are coming down to the area. It's going to be another Herald here right on spawn for TL. They know multiple members are down on the bot side. Someone can continue the push. He's going to be to 2 items here very, very soon. I think probably we're going to see Summit complete his second item before Solo gets his first.
I just want to take a step back and just examine the new face of Team Liquid so far. This whole new look that they've come in with. Because not... Oh, okay. Well, I guess you were expecting Haeri to be there, but the Glacial Prison goes a little wide. Haeri's going to stun him up, flashing away from the Tectonic Disruption. Pyosik comes in, looking for the king. It's just a roundhouse kick to the face for the finisher. Fatality coming in from Pyosik.
Pyosik just wipes him off the face of the map. Bolulu down again, and the Herald's going to drop. They're going to take an inhibitor,
He's going in, baby. Oh, Pyosik is feeling himself on this game. I mean...
Herald doesn't even charge. They're just going straight for the inhib. It's 16 minutes. Why not?
This could be the fastest game finish of the split so far, Azael.
I mean, this is looking like one of those games where if they want to flip it, they could try to make Shelly dance. Like, they could try to go for it. I think that would be a bit too far, but we'll see how they're feeling about it.
Got one more charge.
Summit is actually killing the mid lane tier 2 at the same time, so they're just going to take the inhib. They're going to take the mid lane tier 2.
Did it get the charge? I can't tell.
I don't think so.
Oh,
no,
okay.
But look at the gold lead. I want someone from stats to tell me, but I feel like this is like the biggest gold lead, like gold per minute type of lead I have ever seen in any game I can remember casting in the LCS.
Yeah.
A 15,000 gold lead at 17 minutes is truly absurd.
That is something you see later on in the game when the game is decisively
it's like
over.
40 minutes in and it's an absolute stomp or something.
Yeah.
But like, we're at 17 minutes.
Yeah, the Baron hasn't even spawned yet. I imagine Baron Asher's waiting. It's like, guys, I'm not going to even be part of this game.
They're like doubling their team gold. What's happening here? It's 23K to almost 40.
What happens when you see a Flame Horizon in every single lane?
A Team Horizon?
Yeah, Team Horizon. Oh, no. The Observer's doing Kenvi dirty on that one.
Oh, you hate to see it happen as another whiff. I mean, Pat goes to worst, let's be honest. It's been all TL all the time. Nothing seeming to go right for Immortals. As much as we were kind of singing their praises coming into this.
Yeah.
And they have had, a great couple games. Their first game was really, really clean. Yesterday was an amazing comeback. But today, not making it happen here against TL. Summit pushing on the bot side. All Immortals can do at this point, you send 4 or 5 to one lane. You hope that TL are playing cocky and you try to get a pick and you try to repeat that like 50 times. And you just keep doing it over and over and over. That's your only option in this game. There's no way you can take a 2v2 or a 3v3. You're probably going to lose even like 3v2s at this point in almost all matchups.
Yeah.
So it has to be like a 4v2 or 4v1, that kind of stuff. But Super Minions are already pushing in through top lane. Someone's going to have to answer those. As soon as Tactical answers those, Haeri's pushing in mid. TL are 4 bot rather, so they're just going to push them back. They're going to take this tier 2. You can see Annie's already working on the inhibitor tower mid, so TL are playing this by the book. They very clearly came in and they want to clean this out closely, right? They want to really make sure that they're looking dominant, because in game number 1, they had an incredible early game. Not this dominant, but an incredible early game. And then they really did just start kind of struggling at moments where they're losing team fights, they're making mistakes, they're not being as clean in their execution as they should. So it seems to me like they've talked a lot with the team and really focusing on making this as clean as they can.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to the end of Spring Split for Team Liquid, for anyone that hasn't gotten a chance to watch the documentary series that they have, they were heartbroken, barely just missing out on playoffs. You could see that Team Liquid were so determined to make sure that Spring Split would not come back to haunt them in summer. And if this is the way that they're going to come in every single game, I'm excited for how playoffs is going to look at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that they're a team of really hard workers, as we're going to see one engage here. Won't be able to find anything, but TL have been working hard. Pyosik going to look for a kick, not going to be able to find it.
Getting interrupted by the Breath of Life and the Arctic Assault and Kenvi, but they have their work cut out for them. They're making short work of these inhibitor towers. The bottom one's going to fall. This game is, I mean, it's been looking done and dusted since 10 minutes ago, Azael, but my God, Team Liquid are making sure that there is no questions, there is no doubts about this team, that they are coming in with a fresh new look and a fresh new vibe as Pyosik doesn't even go down to the Moonlight Vigil, and they've got teleports on both of their solo laners and gonna come back with full HP bars replenished as they look to make the final push.
Yeah, Pyosik about 5% HP, he's still just hanging around just in case. We'll see if they can actually fully finish it off. Supers are coming in through top lane. Doesn't even look like they want to back off. They just want to close out the game right now.
They want to send a message to the rest of the LCS teams in the league. This is the new Team Liquid, and you better fear us because we are coming for the title. We are coming for playoffs.
That is crazy to think. This is an 8th place team in spring. They're going to be starting off week number 1, 3-0. TL looking amazing out the gate here in summer. Across the board, really playing well. But Pyosik stood out so much to me in this one.
Yes.
He was everywhere, had some really good pathing, did a great job. Summit was dominant in the 1v1, but then he got that help to really extend the lead. Bot lane 2v2 was already going well, and again, Pyosik gets down there and is able to really turn things even more in their favor.
Yeah.
TL looking incredibly dominant early, looking clean in the closeout. This was like a 21-minute game. Like, that is an absolute pounding here. You can't ask for anything more from TL, so they should definitely be really happy. Summit the turtle, you just threw it on the ground.
Fastest LCS game of the year. That is the word. Congratulations, Team Liquid, for a 3-0 start to the Summer Split. And my goodness, if this is the type of Team Liquid that we're going to get every single game, I mean, all the other teams need to start paying respect. They need to know that Team Liquid is no longer the team that they were in Spring Split. I know we can look at the draft and say, yeah, well, Team Liquid prepared for this. They had an early game comp. Immortals was more geared for the late game and team fighting, but it's all on Pyosik to drive that tempo forward. And he was down on jungle picks. There was like 4 or 5 jungle bans by the end of it, and he goes to the Lee Sin. No one has been playing Lee Sin the entire Summer Split. It's a very risky pick if you don't pull it off, but he did it so beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can talk about whether the comp is stronger earlier or later, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's all about the execution, and they executed beautifully in this, right? And like I say, I really think this is one of the best games I've seen from Pyosik since he's come over, right? There was expectations I think were somewhat mixed because people, he's coming off a world championship, but people are saying, well, he's not the main reason they won and whatnot.
Right.
But I think still expectations were higher than what he delivered on in spring. And this was a really, really good performance, showcasing what he can do at his best.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Pyosik, hats off to you, brother. That was a beautiful game. I mean, I know the rest of the Team Liquid members are ecstatic, but for you guys, during the 2023, from now until June 23rd, you can use your MasterCard to make a purchase from the in-client store and save your card on file to be entered for a chance to win a trip to League of Legends Worlds 2023 or a set of 8 Player of the Week statues and a MasterCard prepaid card. And make sure, I know we've got more games coming up your way. We've got a rematch between FlyQuest and GG, but when we come back, we'll be heading out to the Dunk Tank. So fans of the audience, please head outside now if you want to watch Jat get dunked. In the meantime, let's take a look at FlyQuest Summer music video.
FlyQuest Summer, yeah, we're a fam like no other. Gonna bring the flavor, spiciest team you'll see. Bees, trees, seas, now we're putting teams on their knees. Won't hold back, cause you know that his squad is cracked. Take it mid. Who when I think of the Fly fam, I play my harder for you. And when it comes to summer, we know just what to do. Hit the red fly. Flying with us to the sea. NA's best team in the league, baby. All the world's eyes on us, cause you know it's when worlds are bars. Flying with us to the scene and come and join the team.
FlyQuest gonna take it all. EG called the bank, but they can't withdraw. Tough loss, not for us, got Vulcan a job. Then thieves stole somebody, talk about getting robbed. Liquid's roster may have finally lost it. Ragey getting ready to set all his house to CLG, NRG, don't trust the process. Cause end of the day, you're just collecting losses. Bjergsen is retired and EG uninspired. Yeah, we lost to GG, goddamn it, Aaron Creechy. Don't forget about Cloud9 going round trip on the airline. Cause we need a team from NA that won't be another punchline.
Flying with us to the sea. NA's best team in the league, baby. All the world's eyes on us, cause you know and my alumni. Got a nightmare sleep while in Shanghai. Flight quest, others,
New guy went evil to Halo. Oh, support didn't wikis low, A-low. Ticket job did a swap check applies, bro. Ratio, flying with us to the scene. It ain't best team in the league, baby.
all the words eyes on us, cause you know it's been words of us. Flying with us to the scene and come and join the team.
Fly quest, summer, like no other. Cause you know we won't stop. Catch us,
Winning,
love it,
get in,
on the way to worlds now.
When you hear summer, you gon' say
Fly.
If we build Morellos, you gon' say
Why?
Impact, Speak Up, Big Love, Prince, Vulcan. Come and join the team.
To the nation.